Ladies and gentlemen, the bottom right-hand corner of the map from Team FXO, brought out here to take down the minigun. Guys, it's Gumiho.
Oh, Gumiho. It's always fun casting him, man. Top left corner from Team Root. It's going to be Minigun. He's essentially trying to kill off my voice, but I will not allow it to happen. I pulled out some water.
I don't think you can blame that one on Minigun.
I'm going to blame it on him.
Okay.
That's right. No, it's really hard to push into a Zergomi like that. Even though Minigun was pretty far in supply, a good 50, 60 supply, you just can't engage. Spinecar is way too strong. One mistake will kill you off. A Narrow Parasite with a follow-up into a Black Hole on half your army, and you lose half your army and you die. Like, there's so many things that can go wrong, and Minigun just displayed perfect patience in that last game.
He did. And now he's in a position to possibly take 3 victories for his team here versus Gumiho. So, Barracks on the way for FXO's Terran player. No gas is taken here at the 2-minute mark, so there it is, yeah. Whoop. We should be seeing him move into a 1-Rax expand. Minigun on the other side of things has also yet to take any gases. There we go. Gas does go down. And we'll have to see what he evolves into. Most likely, we'll be seeing is, you know, either 2 on gas and a Stalker Warp Gate timing, and then after you start both of those simultaneously, you actually drop your Nexus. Or he could drop 3 and, you know, pull off, or really any variation of that kind. But I do expect a quick expansion here from Minigun. Oh, in fact, Gumiho. So interesting.
Minigun.
This should be scouted.
Yep.
Very nice.
So, Minigun's going to look out here. Nice job of being very active with scouting. Gumiho was attempting to allow him to come into the main, see there were no gases up, and show, okay, I'm most likely going into a 1-Rax expand. That's where the metagame is at. And hide this Rax up here. If Minigun goes, okay, he's going into 1-Rax expand, then that means that I just need to go up and get my Nexus. You put your Nexus up, and suddenly you have no units to defend against 4 Marines, 6 Marines with 4 Zealots, or not 4 Zealots, 4 SCVs coming straight into your natural. So that was the whole plan here for Gumiho, but with that scout, Minigun can deflect it.
That it can. So Barracks is nearly complete here, the second Barracks out of Gumiho, but as you stated, shouldn't have too much trouble defending against this Gumiho push now that Minigun knows that it's coming. He does have possession of the Xel'Naga Tower with that slightly injured probe. And now he's going to be moving out with his Zealot. Not many minerals here for Minigun, and where have they gone? Actually, he is chrono boosting out a Stalker, has started his Warp Gate tech, and is continuing to make probes. He's actually got a very nice quick pylon here, too. What do you think he's going for, man? He's only got 1 gas, and he has yet to... he's actually still getting a lot of gas, so likely an expansion with maybe a quick robo behind it.
Yeah, you can actually get your expansion up, and even though he scouted 2-Rax, he knows that he can defend it. If you see it coming, you can get a few probes off and deal with it pretty efficiently. So he's very okay with moving into a Nexus really quickly. Just being more active with scouting and making sure that his opponent isn't walking across the map with 2-Rax. I was actually talking to Illusion at DICE about this, and if you ever have your 2-Rax scouted, you just pull back and expand behind it. It's not even worth it, because the Protoss will trade efficiently. So that's the plan. He's going straight into Nexus, then of course he can fall to the Robo, as you mentioned, and get a safer scout off.
Alright, we'll be waiting for that. Chrono boosting out another Stalker, 2 Stalkers here, actually, which is a little bit interesting. He's going to give him some good map control and the ability to kite any Marines that do move onto the map, so that would actually make a lot of sense from Minigun's perspective. Gumiho's going to put down that bunker and start securing his natural expansion, as it is 3/4 of the way done. He also has gotten a gas in his main and is working on a 3rd Barracks.
Start moving up attack here. Gonna get a little bit on the aggressive side, grabbing the middle of the map. You can see with the Marines. Heading to the Xel'Naga, and he also sent an SCV at the top right corner at the same time to go in for a scout. But Minigun's did a good job of spreading all his units here, so he'll be prepared for anything that does come his way. He can snipe this SCV if it does try to go into the natural, and Gumiho being a little bit more responsive here will not allow for it to happen. So a lot of test your might happening in the middle of the map.
Yeah, definitely. Robo is now on the way at this point for Minigun, and a 2nd gateway, 3rd gateway as well. Indicative that Minigun doesn't feel too nervous about pressure coming from Gumiho, which he is right about. Supply depot over here in the corner is going to provide a nice little scout, while concussive shells is the upgrade that we're actually seeing here out of Gumiho. And this would indicate, you know, possibility for slightly earlier pressure. If you want to go for some sort of, it's basically either super early pressure or a quick 3rd. And no, this is a Marine. But basically, guys, you go, if you want to go for like a quick timing, you rush for stim. You go for stim really quick. You can start a 2nd tech lab and get concussive shells, and then they finish around the same time if you really want the concussive shells upgrade. But quick stim will let you go for, you know, 8.5, 9-minute timing. With Stim being started after Concussive Shells is complete, though, it really makes any of those timings so much later out of Gumiho. And so that either means, one, he doesn't intend to go for a timing and he's just going to drop the quick third and not really worry about pressuring Minigun, or he intends to go for a much earlier timing, and so Concussive Shells was the important upgrade for him to get finished first. Marines and Marauders are gathered out towards the front, so what do you think, Tim? Is he going to pressure here?
Well, on the flip side of getting the Concussive Shells as well, it allows for him to be in the middle of the map and prevent anything from moving across the map and killing him. If it was going to be a huge attack from a Minigun in any way, shape, or form, Gumiho being in the middle of the map can defend it by poking with Concussive Shells and taking out Stalkers and whatnot and slowing down Zealots. So Concussive Shells is just a safe play because he took such a weird opening. He needed to get it just if he wanted to be on the aggressive side, he could do it, but he did it for more of the defensive purposes of kiting his opponent back. That's
a great point, too, because he opened slightly inefficient with that 2 racks, of course, that he didn't actually really do anything
So he was trusting his micro there to be more better, I guess is the word I want to look for, than miniguns. He thinks, okay, I get Concussive Shells, I can outplay minigun and defend anything he pushes my way. So that was his thought process behind that.
Fantastic points. Oh, and you know what? If you want to ever look at the thought processes of our players, Minigun, our Protoss player right now, has those YouTube videos you were talking about before, Tim.
That plug.
So, Extended Thermal Lances is on the way right now for our root Protoss player. He's working on some Colossi getting out onto the field. And he's going to go for that third base here at the 9-minute mark. He also has an engineering bay, which was complete. I saw that being constructed. There it is, +1, about halfway, a little less than halfway done. The starport reactor getting ready, so he will be making some medevacs behind this.
Yeah, everything's going to line up here for Gumiho. He'll have Stimpack finished up. He'll have +1 finishing up as his medevacs do get across the middle of the map as well. So he'll have a very strong force to snipe important tech that might be out of position here for Minigun, or to kill off some probes if Minigun's not paying attention and doesn't respond accordingly. The aggressive Gumiho is about to pop out pretty soon for you guys. It's what happens. As soon as you see the first couple of medevacs, you need to get active on the minimap because Gumiho is going to start doing it as well.
That's the complete truth. Gumiho is 2 things. He's a very mid-game aggro sort of player, and then he's very macro-oriented. He can just base and base and base and make so many command centers that it just seems like he might as well throw away his SCVs, but in reality, it just has that big of an economy.
Minigun on the other side, though, is really getting rammered up for a really strong push here. He's got 2 Colossi going to be on the field, Thermal Lance finishing up, getting a pylon on the top right corner, bringing a Warp Prism at the same time. And this is a good way of stifling Gumiho's aggressive play here. By just getting into his face outside of the natural, you force him to either sit at home and defend pretty heavily with his forces, or go for a counter drop where you'll get a free trade-off if you can get in.
All right, Minigun is pushing forwards right now. Force field's going down behind the bunker, getting targeted down, doing a lot of damage with these units. Marines taking so much damage lining up there in front of that Colossi, just taking catastrophic shots. At the same time, though, we do have that medevac play out of Gumiho, cleaning up a lot of the reinforcements here for Minigun. Minigun's actually pulling back entirely from this. Could be continuing to pressure as he has killed the bunker and all the forces. There's nothing here but SCVs. He could actually be ravaging the mineral line right now. Let's see if he turns around and goes to do exactly that.
Alright, so the Warp Prism is now joining up with Minigun as well. Gumiho thinks that by killing off these pylons, he's preventing any more aggressive pushes coming from Minigun. He's trying to get the bunker up at home, but still, Minigun moving forward. A Warp Prism drop straight into the main at the same time. He's actually going to start out multitasking Gumiho. You don't see that on every day. Gumiho doing his best to snipe reinforcements as well, but with the units into the main, Gumiho is not aware of it. He's going to start losing a few of his SCVs. He's so busy trying to defend his front line.
That he is. Lots of reinforcements joining for Minigun right now. Continuing to lose SCVs is Gumiho, and this is looking like it might just be too much for the FXO. Terran Gumiho in a lot of trouble. SCVs coming off the line, but there are 2 Colossi with extended thermal lance. A beautiful flank maneuver, though. If anything's going to save Gumiho, it's going to be this. Getting in a lot of damage right now, and the forces on the ground of Minigun takes out both Colossi, and only 15 supply ahead. Minigun's force looks like it is going to be cleaned up.
Wow, some nice flanks there from Gumiho. A few SCVs were killed off in the exchange, though. Was it enough for Minigun to take a lead? Let's go ahead and pull out the...
well, he's got a third base behind all this, so although his SCV count is very low right now and the resources lost is actually in Gumiho's favor, Minigun's lost a lot.
Well, he did lose his Colossi. There's 2 Colossi that went down. He lost the majority of his Stalkers, which are really important. You want to retain them for the mid-game because they're really hard to reinforce because you need sentries to defend against a lot of pushes that'll be coming your way. So that was a really good trade for Gumiho in that sense if he wants to go for a counter-attack. And to be honest with you, he might want to do some drop play pretty soon because you want to keep Minigun stuck on 2 bases while you use your 3 command centers to get mules down, get some more SCVs created.
From Minigun's perspective, you kind of want to pressure at this point. You know, you have had the economy of full 2 bases, essentially, for a couple minutes here. Gumiho just took some heavy damage. He's spending a lot of money replacing SCVs right now. And this is a beautiful time to attack, so Minigun's going to do exactly that. But the Colossi are a little too far back right now to be fighting. Gumiho's getting a great engagement. Force fields cutting the army in half, though, but the Colossi are shooting pretty much single units. There's not that much over here on the right. Gumiho down 20 supply right now to Minigun, but it might, with the medevacs, be enough to clean this up. I don't know. The Vikings have been cleaned up. Gumiho is now going to be forced into a full retreat. 80 supply to 84. Suddenly, Gumiho is narrowly behind his opponent.
Minigun made sure to deal with the Vikings as soon as possible. There were only a couple of them on the field, so the few suckers he had, he focused them down, and this has allowed him to follow up into some poking on his opponent. The thing is, Gumiho's got a massive amount of Marauders. With a full stem forward and a mistake from Minigun, he could kill this army pretty quickly. Luckily for Minigun, he's starting to get a nice amount of Zealots in, and he's also brought the sentries he had at home at his natural, which makes this push a little bit on the stronger side. We'll start moving towards this third.
All right, this is looking very, very dangerous for Minigun. He has to win this fight, or he is going to be far, far behind to the 3 bases and large economy now of Gumiho as he spent so much time and money replenishing it. Here we go. SCVs off the line. Gumiho, will he fall here? Force fields cutting back the Marines as the SCVs are cleaned up. Now the force fields need to go down, or Guardian Shield. He does have enough energy to trap these units. Zealots taking a lot of shots there, but a Colossus has fallen, and now with reinforcements, Minigun is actually going to be pushed back. Gumiho seeming to have stabilized. Now 20 supply ahead.
The transition to mass Marauders went really well here for Gumiho because the shell's really helping him out, and 2, he knew he was better engaged with Micro. He had 3 Marauders constantly moving on different ends of fronts and trying to snipe important units like Stalkers, of course, jumping on top of the Colossi. And he had a Viking in the back getting free damage constantly on that first Colossus, which really made Minigun get into a frantic situation where I need to do damage because I'm going to eventually lose this unit. Nice job there by Gumiho. We have a counterattack happening, and looking at Minigun's army here, he's moving straight into Immortal, only has a few Zealots and a couple of Sentries. I don't think he can hold this.
I don't know that he can either, Tim. He's very much behind. And so much of this comes down to that point when Minigun was falling back to defend that pylon. If we look at the moment where Minigun made the mistake, I mean, he had this game likely in his pocket, and now is looking on the verge of losing it. Marauders cleaning up some gateways here for free. And although the medevacs don't have the afterburner ability, they're still going to be a huge factor here, healing these units perpetually as Gumiho just continues to poke. Viking will get picked off, but that is inconsequential.
Well, the Immortals are going to be helpful against his Marauder. Stalkers on the high ground trying to snipe some medevacs. We'll get one killed off in exchange for a Stalker. Worth the trade, in my opinion. And Gumiho,
full stem.
Full stems forward, going to be chasing forward. We'll catch a couple of these Zealots off guard. The army's so small for Minigun, needs a few more warpins. Behind by a good 30 supply here. A nice drop finally onto the main. Poor Gumiho is going to start with the aggression. Need to get to the main and really force Minigun to make mistakes.
Well, I think at this point, I mean, with 40 workers, Gumiho, he's just continuing to kill units in a cost-efficient way here. Picks off 2 Stalkers and will stim around in a circle as on the low end. He's continuing to kill off Zealot after Zealot. His Minigun is actually like, he pushes down the ramp and then falls back, and then pushes down the ramp and falls back. And every time he falls back, concussive shells are slowing down his units, getting more and more kills for free is Gumiho. Nice force fields will cut this army in half. We'll see if it's enough, as the Immortals are getting in some extremely nice damage versus the Marauder, but a 40 supply deficit here for Minigun.
A nice pickup there from Minigun as well. Gumiho going to be picking up a few units at the same time too. Just doing his best to micro this and retaining his medevacs for the most part too, which again just makes his armor infinitely more stronger. Marauders will finally kill off one more Immortal. One Immortal is left. Pro's being pulled off the line. Minigun knows he has to defend this. If this army gets into his natural, it is going to be game. Colossus does pop out. Will it be enough? Getting some nice damage in as Gumiho started to spring some Marines in. But remember, behind all this, we have the 3rd expansion still for Gumiho. He's just constantly producing units. The macro's too good. Minigun is forced to GG.
Fantastic play there out of Gumiho. Everything was beautiful, and he even managed to pull that trick on Minigun, being like, hey, look, my forces, they're over here. And those were, in fact, the only units. We took a look in the natural, we took a look in the main. Those were the only units that Gumiho actually had at all, besides SCVs. And Minigun chased them all the way almost back to the Zelnaga Tower, and then even when he did go for the attack, a lot of time actually spent killing those supply depots. Instead of actually pushing in. And it bought Gumiho the time he needed to make even more sick plays, battling his way back. Definitely deserving that win. Well played out of Gumiho. And that is going to tie our series up.
Well, guys, 2-2 is a series. We've got a few more games for you. Remember, it is a best of 9. We're going to get the next replay set up, and then when we come back, we'll tell you who exactly Gumiho will be playing against. Root versus FXO, coming at you after this commercial break.